Gabadi in the Central Province trials hybrid rice project. Watut communities in Morobe concerned about environmental damages. And more teams prepare for the 2015 Games.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
Good evening to you and welcome to Tuesday's news. Thanks for your company. Papua New Guinea can grow rice for commercial use. Scientists from the Philippines said this during the harvest of the Gabadi pilot hybrid rice project in the Central Province. The scientist who developed the hybrid rice was present at the launch of the harvest yesterday, and according to him, Papua New Guinea has the ideal temperature, weather and soil for growing the commodity. EMTV's Delibagu has more on this report.
A team of media personnel was taken up the Hiritano Highway, about an hour's drive from the nation's capital to the Gabadi rice project site. Coren Maso from the Village Garden Limited said 3 types of rice were being trialled. They are SL8, SL12 and SL18. The pilot plot, which is 1 hectare wide, will yield 10,000 kilograms of rice. It was planted 3 months ago. He said the scientist who developed the hybrid rice from the Philippines said PNG has the essential elements to grow rice on a large scale and go commercial.
The significance of this program today is to tell Papua New Guinea that yes, Papua New Guinea have the potential, not in small scale, but we can go in commercial, large scale. So long as we have the money, we can grow rice, we can produce rice, and we can become the rice exporting country to other Asians as well. And imagine importing rice into country in Papua New Guinea, spending 700 million is not funny to us.
The pilot hybrid rice project used the irrigation system using 4 water pumps set up near the river. A harvester was brought in for the harvest process. Mr. Maso said the country has been importing rice for years, and with the ever-increasing costs, this rice project has the potential to help citizens save money.
2 important things that the rice will solve in our country is it put back the money into the village people. They will have money to spend on the medical. They will have money to spend on a school fee, and they will have money to have extras for their income. And the most important thing is, yes, they will have food on the table.
Mr. Maso said the harvested rice will be taken to the Pacific Adventist University, where there is a processing plant. The rice will be packaged under the brand VG Super Rice and then distributed to shops around the country. Only then, Village Garden will conduct market surveys to see how well Papua New Guineans respond to the new product. Mr. Maso also revealed that the government announced today that it has finalized a rice policy. It is also interested in this project. Delibagu, National, EMTV News, Gabadi Village, Central Province.
On the same note, while Minister for Trade, Commerce and Industry, Richard Maru, congratulated Village Garden Limited for their first rice project harvest, he was also cautious of the project. Mr. Maru told the media that key factors need to be considered before a rollout of the project. He challenged the developer to prove that the hybrid rice was scientifically, technically and commercially suitable for the country.
Blending and marketing.
Minister Maru was unable to attend the first harvest of the Gabadi Super Hybrid Rice project yesterday because of the bad weather. He, however, congratulated the project first before raising concerns. Minister Maru said firstly, the super hybrid rice must be scientifically proven to grow and yield well over 2 to 3 seasons in Central Province to test its sustainability before a rollout of the project to the SME for commercial production.
Over 3 seasons, we will determine whether the yield is going to get better or the yield is going to get worse as you plant that particular rice hybrid in the same land. We will also determine whether it can withstand different weather conditions, including very harsh weather conditions within the Central Province.
Mr. Maru said the economic viability of the project must be proven. This includes the cost of production per hectare, the cost of processing and packaging must be established so that it can be compared to the cost of imported rice on the shelves.
we need to understand the cost and determine per kilo whether this hybrid rice can be produced at a lower cost than the rice that we import and are currently blending and marketing throughout Papua New Guinea, or it can only be produced at a much higher cost.
Mr. Maru also called on the National Agricultural Research Institute, NARI, to work in partnership with private sector players like Village Garden and conduct independent research to provide reports to the government. He said NARI has conducted rice research over 10 to 15 years. However, this investment in rice research has not translated into the reduction of rice import, as the import bill has reached over 500 million kina.
So I call on the NARI board and management to meet with Village Garden to collect important data that they have, because they are a scientific and research institution. They need to collect data like how much did they harvest per hectare, what is the cost. NARI needs to come in and independently make those assessments. So over 3 seasons, NARI can inform us, independent of a biased commercial organization like Village Garden, that yes, this is the harvest, this is the yield, this is the cost from this project. Commercially.
Delhi Bagu, National MTV News.
The Union of Watut River Communities in Morobe Province have expressed concerns of the environmental damages from the Wafi mine operations. They claim that damages from mine tailings in the Hidden Valley mine in previous years were not compensated well by Morobe Mining joint venture. They are now calling on the Department of Environment and Conservation to give ample time for the impacted communities to be consulted before an environmental permit is approved.
The union is saying that the 28 days given by the Department of Environment and Conservation to review Wafi Mine's environmental permit is inadequate. They are now asking for the time frame to be extended until the end of this month, to give enough time for them to consult the communities in the impacted areas of the mine. President of the Union of Watut River Communities, Ruben Meta, says they can't allow the permit to be approved without consulting the people.
We want an extension so that the people from the Upper Watut, the people from the Mumain local level government, Wampara local level government, Salamwa local level government should be given ample time and ample discussions on the issues that will be affecting them regarding the Wafi gold mining.
The union claimed that in previous years, communities affected by tailings from the Hidden Valley mine were not compensated well. Payment documents from previous incidents revealed that locals were paid as low as 4 kina and 11 kina for damages done to the plants and food gardens. What the union wants to see is impacted areas, especially riverine communities, are consulted and fully informed on compensation methods before a permit is approved.
With that very little 28 days to be approved environmental permit, it is not enough time given to the communities and also for individual people from the riverine community to see the proposed environmental permit statement and to make reasonable statements. So it is a concern now. So I'm appealing to also to the Morobe Provincial government and also to the national government to give another extension for that Wafi gold mining to be reviewed.
Chairman of Mining in the Morobe Provincial Executive Council, Okam Patton, has denied being consulted by the Department of Environment and Conservation. He is expected to bring this matter to Tutumang's attention when they convene this Thursday. Sylvester Gawi, National MTV News, Leh.
The Small Grants Project for women in mining areas is proving to be successful. That's according to the Mineral Resources Authority, following workshops and training sessions on how to obtain grants. 12 out of 33 groups were successful in obtaining these grants. The Women in Mining Small Grants Project is an initiative to support women living in mining communities with income-earning opportunities.
Small Grants Project is a scheme where funds are made available by the government for women landowner associations in the mining impact areas. The project is implemented by Mineral Resources Authority or MRA with support from other government line departments. The initiative is currently in its monitoring and reporting stage, where MRA officers from the Sustainability and Planning branch are visiting various women groups to collect their financial and operational reports. So far, the officers have met with Kwembu and Nauti women landowner groups from Hidden Valley Mining Project in Morobe Province and 4 women groups from Ramu Nickel Project area in Medang. The Ramu groups are Kurumbukari, Maigari Inland Pipeline, Coastal Pipeline and Vasamuk. Through the grants, they have purchased PMVs and outboard motors. The public transport has assisted the people in bringing their fresh produce into town markets. Women in Basamuk are in the process of setting up a piggery farm. However, MRA officers have noted that some groups have issues with management of funds, although they've made profits. So far, MRA is impressed with the women's group from Kwembu in Hidden Valley. Depending on the performances of each group after 18 months, they can apply for further assistance. It is funded through World Bank's Mining Sector Institutional Strengthening Technical Assistance Project 2. Bridget Komatep, National EMTV News.
Sime Darby Plantation, a subsidiary of Sime Darby Berhad, has completed its acquisition of New Britain Palm Oil Limited. The purchase of NBPOL now brings Sime Darby Plantation's total worldwide land bank to almost 1 million hectares spread across 5 different countries. A high-level delegation from both Sime Darby and NBPOL were in Port Moresby to mark day 1 of this new partnership.
The acquisition of NBPOL was described as a homecoming of sorts, with Harrison and Crossfield, the company which established NBPOL, also a part of the merger which created Sime Darby. According to Mod Bak Saleh, President and Group Chief Executive of Sime Darby, the acquisition of NBPOL now truly cements the position of Sime Darby as the world's biggest producer of certified sustainable palm oil. This, he says, is an exciting development for the Sime Darby Group. The acquisition of NBPOL is worth around £1.7 billion or 5.7 billion kina.
And we are excited about this investment. And honestly speaking, I don't think there will be any problems, working together, integrating NBPOL, not at all, because we share common goals. Yeah. I mean, from the word go, when we first met, Nick, I think the chemistry was right, and we knew that we can easily work together. And the contributions from both sides will certainly give that uplift to the Sime Darby business.
Over the next few months, Sime Darby will be focusing on integrating the operations of both companies. High on the agenda will be efforts by NBPOL and Sime Darby to continue its efforts in sustainability as part of its production. Furthermore, apart from the expansion of its upstream business in Papua New Guinea, NBPOL now also provides the opportunity for Sime Darby Plantations to grow its downstream operations in Europe.
We will be looking at lots of opportunities here to develop the business. Obviously, there's going to be hopefully some leverage from the technology that Sime Darby have in Malaysia and whether we can implement that here. Equally, there will be things in here that we can leverage in Malaysia and Indonesia. So there will be time spent basically looking at all of those opportunities that arise. Basically, I think it gives us huge opportunities in terms of, I'm talking about Papua New Guinean, training, access to training facilities which Sime Darby have, and all of that in terms of, giving our people here, quite an exciting future.
Merabatulo, National EMTV News.
Terminated health workers stage a sit-in protest in Goroka. Also, the plight of settlers in Lae and InterOil donate funds to fight HIV and AIDS. Those story and more coming up after the break. Stay tuned. Good to have you back with the news. A sit-in protest involving terminated health workers from Goroka General Hospital is now into its 5th day. The protest, which began last Thursday, was staged by terminated health workers as a call to Health Minister Michael Malabag and Eastern Highlands Governor Julie Soso to address the hospital's ongoing issues. Now, these issues involve the lack of medical supplies and hospital equipment. Community members around Goroka town are expected to join the protest by tomorrow. The protesters are now calling on Minister Malabag and Governor Soso to respond to their concerns. Lae City is surrounded by a growing number of settlements on the city's outskirts. These settlements are home to family units from all over Papua New Guinea. Most are the family of middle-income earners who find that living near the commercial centre is too expensive. But these settlers have found that they are on the brink of being displaced as customary landowners steer toward leasing their land to developers.
Judith Simeon is the wife of a Papua New Guinean chemist. She lives on this block of land just outside the Malahang Industrial Centre. On this land, she and her husband are raising 3 children. The elder has already started school.
First I'm Scott. I'm 11 years old. Now I'm 6 years. Rhonda, I'm 4 years.
Judith does her cooking and family's laundry with rainwater collected in these 44-gallon drums. But when it's dry season, she goes to the Busu River to collect water.
Washing clothes,
Every day there is work around the house, and she also has a market stall where she sells scones and drinks. She makes about 60 kina per day. With the help of her extended family, they have managed to build shelter and continue to expand and improve their home. The cost of living, including renting homes in the commercial area, is too expensive, so the young family made a choice to come out to the outskirts. But beside the block of land, development is creeping toward the family and others who live along the fence. The fears of being displaced is now real. Whilst development is good, the balance between the social and economic well-being is becoming an issue for many families along the fence.
Style relations are not thinking lo walking drainage natslan warasa kambagarap nipla.
Community elder Lawrence Kami sees development fast approaching. He explains that while they are classified as settlers, they must be treated fairly.
So mipla rightfully mipla coming one time all proper ground mipla pay mipla sit down. So must get proper dealings one time all settlers.
Judith's story is similar to many other Papua New Guineans living and working in towns and cities in the country. There are no concrete statistics to show just how many family units live in Lae settlements, but the numbers are seen to be increasing. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
Oil and gas company InterOil today donated 50,000 kina to help Anglicare PNG in its campaign against HIV and AIDS and STIs in the country. Part of its community outreach program, InterOil continues to provide medical care services to its operational areas in the Gulf Province and other parts of the country. The funding will help Anglicare to further its community awareness and education on HIV and AIDS.
50,000 kina is part of InterOil's support of non-government organizations in the country. It is aimed at improving health service delivery in the company's main operations area in the Gulf Province and other parts of Papua New Guinea. Receiving the funds, Anglicare National Director Henny Meke says the donation will have a huge impact on the work of Anglicare in the country. For years, Anglicare PNG has been the frontline advocates against HIV and AIDS in the country, while the church-run organization has been given little support from the government. The timely donation from InterOil will go a long way in the organization's awareness and fight against HIV and AIDS and sexual transmitted infections. Meke also urged all business houses and corporate companies to support the work of NGOs like Anglicare to contain the spread of this disease.
This assistance is very significant. We believe that through the foundation we will invest this for long term, maybe 5 to 10 years time. We'd like to see that we have funds that we generate through donations, so activities then we can sustain the work that we're doing in the country.
InterOil's Executive Vice President, Isikeli Tareka, says the oil and gas company will continue to assist NGOs in advocacies like this. The oil and gas company in recent times also donated funds to the PNG industry on malaria initiatives to minimize the spread of malaria in the Gulf Province.
It's something that we like to do and work with organizations that are well structured and have really good community outreach programs as well.
Director Meke says the statistics still remain the same for HIV and AIDS. Every day a new case is reported somewhere in the country. In the meantime, it is up to NGOs like Anglicare and other organizations to continue their work in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
We have not contained the virus yet. From the experiences we have on the ground, there are a lot of new cases still being detected, people on treatment, and we still find there's a lot of gap in terms of giving information and empowerment.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
A two-day workshop hosted by the Department of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology started today in Port Moresby on a high note. Its purpose to coordinate with colleges to improve infrastructure, rehabilitation and recapitalization projects. Present at the workshop are representatives from 44 colleges and technical schools in the country.
The Department of Research, Science and Technology usually looks after the 6 universities in the country. For the first time, government has allocated 120 million kina to the Department for Infrastructural Development of Colleges. With the new mandate given, they hosted this 2 days workshop to allocate money to the 44 nursing, business and teachers colleges. These 3 different colleges were given 40 million kina each. Minister Malakai Tabar announced it today.
But you must also be able to show and substantiate your infrastructure and your maintaining the quality of education that is given to the students. As you receive this fund from this department, we need to say here that you also will be required to go through some quality audits and self-assessment of your institution.
Starting next year, grade 8s and grade 10s won't be sitting for national exams anymore. These will increase the number of grade 12s each year. So the government has allocated more funding for infrastructural capacity building of colleges to cater for the increased number of students enrollments in colleges. However, West New Britain Technical College has missed out on the budget allocation. Later, Acting Secretary Professor David Kavanamur explained that it used to be Mora Vocational and now with the name change, they will look into it.
Let me clarify the question about West New Britain Technical College. There is a mix-up between Mora Vocational School and now it's been changed to West New Britain Technical College, so that is an oversight on our part, but we will rectify it and get back to the institution. So that's the commitment that we are making.
At the workshop, representatives from the Department of National Planning and Monitoring were also there to explain the processes involved in receiving funds. Colleges were challenged to have plans available for capacity building, which includes infrastructural development, quality assurance, and sending lecturers and administration staff to training to gain required skills.
In an institution, everybody plays a role to move that institution forward. So we need to also think about capacity of those in the admin office as well.
Meanwhile, these mechanisms target capital formation and capacity building, which translate the Medium-Term Development Plan 2011 to 2015 into a more coordinated set of investment activity and links to Vision 2050. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
Dinghy operators and travellers using Lays Vocal Point as an access point into Lays City have welcomed the idea of redeveloping the waterfront. Some villagers say the completed project will boost their fish market and generate more income through their boat services.
The redevelopment of this birthing place has created positive outcomes for villages. The dredging of this piece of land is a government project and is implemented through the National Fisheries Authority. Yaling Anton is a boat operator. He earns an income through the transportation of villages and store goods from Ley to Siasi and Finchhafen villages. In a week, he makes at least 5 trips.
Big problem come close to. Because scaling lo mi lo kisimol ice outside lo salu lo market na Papua compound na salu lo boko point hat na now mi le putin boat straight lo up. I'm a powerful.
Ley's Vocal Point has been a traditional birthing place for Morobe's coastal villages for close to a century. The need for better birthing facilities comes after the liquidation of Lutheran shipping, forcing dinghy operators to ferry vital supplies to Siasi and Finchhafen. Siasi and Finchhafen boat travelers frequent this boat stop when transporting market produce and cash crops to Ley city markets.
Something mi plan idim nong mi plan kisim na mi plan go back lo place again. So mi plan one bed mi plan la make you something mi plan tok lem lo make him one bed lem start people can make him lo help mi plan.
The current rehabilitation means more outboard operators and passengers will be seen using this berthing place. Work has commenced. It is expected to be completed in the coming months. Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Ley.
And now we check out the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.3785 in the interbank market, and at Bank South Pacific, your Kina was fetching $0.3710 $0.4749 Australian dollars, €0.3281 and 44.26 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices, at New York close, gold, coffee and cocoa closed lower, copper closed the day higher, while crude oil closed lower, copper and palm oil closed the day higher. And lastly, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 156 points higher, the ASX closed at 25 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 24 points lower. Still to come on National EMTV News tonight, the Works Department moves to construct a new bridge connecting sections of the Highlands Highway that was washed away by floods, and Australian youths experience the Kokoda track. Stay with us. Thanks for your company and welcome back to National EMTV News. The Kokoda track continues to be an attraction in Papua New Guinea. A group of 15 young men and women from Youth with a Mission Australia took on the challenge of this 96-kilometre journey and spent a total of 37 days on the track. YWAM is largely known in Papua New Guinea for their healthy charity work, and this is the first time they have sent a team to take on this historic walk.
This could be the longest time a group or an individual has spent on the famous track. The group arrived in Port Moresby physically tired and some bruised, but spiritually empowered after almost 6 weeks on the track. A total of 15 came from YWAM Australia and broke into 2 groups. One group flew to Kokoda and started their journey from there. The other group walked from Owens Corner and they met at Effogi.
For me, just having the modern-day Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels, our trekking guides, they changed my life. Their commitment, their excellence, their intelligence, life-changing experience. Life-changing experience from day one till we stopped. It was amazing.
Both groups were accompanied by experienced porters and youth from Hohola. While it was definitely a different experience for the Australians, the porters who have been escorting different groups for years now found this experience to be fulfilling as well.
This line all walk about 5 days, 6 days, me plus one time old man, even all Golo Garden, or Mary Golo Garden, dig him kako, me plus help him all, make him garden, all Golo Bush, now sleep kerab now, all look him how Papua New Guinea also feel him.
Wilford, who has done this walk over 40 times already, was very happy with his experience.
Trekking me plus 90s or 70s. So this trekking me walking now with one time missionary 37 days not experience long trek.
Peter is from the Bert Brown Memorial Church at Hohola, who are hosting the YWAM group.
Some place you got to services staff was health, education, but all teachers, all health worker lab, some people staff, so I want something where government can do good learning.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
The Works Department has moved in to build a 24-meter bridge at the washed-away section of the Highlands Highway. The section of the road near Yombi Village in Southern Highlands was washed away last Saturday, affecting the flow of traffic. Today, Works Minister Francis Awesa assured the travelling public and resource developers that a bridge will be erected in the next 2 weeks. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill will be leading a team to Southern Highlands to visit the disaster, as well as progress on roadworks in the province.
Minister Francis Awesa agreed to an interview with MTV this afternoon, giving his assurance to the travelling public that his department has moved in to address the situation in the flood-affected part of Southern Highlands.
We never expected that this bridge is going to be washed away. In fact, it's on very stable ground. But somehow, there's heavy rains that was experienced. The department in the last 2 days have been very, very active. I commend the Secretary and Works Manager in Mendi. We have taken on the responsibility first thing on Sunday and yesterday, and it's going now. We will continue for the next 2 weeks to keep the road open.
His Secretary David Werra said this has been an ongoing problem with the current weather pattern. However, engineers are ready to put up a bridge and mobilization has commenced.
The ground already mobilized in assembling those bridge parts, mobilizing these bridge parts to the site, and tomorrow we have the bridge experts boarding the flight to the site tomorrow. We have also and Cardno bridge experts assisting us to assess the site, and from Walum Junction up to Pilpil Island to Kumbame, both the heavy traffic, the light traffic and PNBs are already using that. We have a grading team on the ground doing some patrol grading and some maintenance works on 1 or 2 bridges there. But that road is fully open and trafficable now as the bypass, while we are working on the restoration works at Yombi.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill will be leading a high delegation into Southern Highlands tomorrow. Part of his travel will be to inspect the damage caused to roads on the Highlands Highway. Michelle Amba, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill's visit to Southern Highlands tomorrow is part of an earlier planned visit. Now, this visit will include an inspection of washed-away section of the Highlands Highway, as well as to review roadworks underway in the province. In a statement, the Prime Minister said there has been a significant amount of damage along the Highlands Highway and other roads in the region. He said an assessment team has been mobilized through the National Disaster Office and funding is being released by Treasury to assist those affected. He said the government is moving to the damaged road sections to have them repaired. We have True Guy Sports, that's coming up next, and we'll give you the details of NSL Round 7 and Rugby League. Stay with us.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. To soccer, Lake City dwellers are keen to take on RFC in Port Moresby this Saturday in the Round 7 encounter of the Telecom National Soccer League. Following their 2-1 victory over Admiralty FC last Saturday, the Lay boys are looking at continuing their winning streak. Lay's main aim is to keep off Oro's Gary Moka and Kohu Liam from penetrating through their defence. NTV's Sylvester Gowan has this report from Lay.
Coming off from 3 consecutive wins, the Lay City dwellers will be hard at training this week before taking on the Oro FC. The Lay side has seen significant improvements in recent weeks, and they will be how to maintain that strong confidence away from home. In the last encounter against Admiralty, many of their new players played their best throughout the 90 minutes of the game. Captain Nigel Dabinyaba was impressed with his boys' performance, but says more work needs to be done in the midfield to make things easier for the finishers.
Leste dollars got big goal aim towards low all games to me got big hasting thing behind. So all boys all work hard straight now. Mibla sa sem bambla richi one goal target to play towards them. All remaining games to go, I think all boys will really pick up so that bambla can polish him for last games to go.
Despite being newcomers in the Telecom National Soccer League, they have made it to the second spot after starting the season at the bottom of the ladder. The Dwellers will bank on experiences from Raymond Gunemba, Nigel Dabinyaba, Valentine Nelson and Jeppe Tiampo to guide them through the game. Their main aim is to keep the ball away from Oros, Gary Moka and Kou Liam.
I think bambla lulu bambla experience man straight to style front and Gary Moka. I'm good man, I'm got height, I'm got build as a striker, I'm got this class, so I think bambla walk more slalo. Men mark na sla so that. After all, if we play men mark, walking more or se mogata all players or play him role right, then bambla can okay difference na melo game.
The Dwellers are now in training before they leave for Port Moresby this Friday. Sylvester Gawi, National EMTV Sports, Ley.
Over to Rugby League, and a try in the final minutes of the match saw the Durban Fox defeat Ley Tigers in the cup final of the Digicel Super 9's Northern Leg held in Madang. The home side, Durban, had come into the match after defeating Kainantu in the semi-finals earlier in the day, but it was an informed Tigers who were the favourites.
Proving that point, the Tigers opened the score in first, breaking through the Blacks' defensive line easily, much to the disappointment of the packed Ron Albert crowd. The Black Fox fought back, notching a 6-pointer of their own. Towards the half, it was still a tussle. The cup final, both sides exchanging tries, with good set plays on show. The second half proved a nail-biter at one stage, the Tigers taking an 8-point lead. But the Fox team, sponsored by local member Nixon Duban, was not about to disappoint the home crowd. 2 quick tries, one under the post, sealed a memorable victory. Government representative Seamus Takei was proud of the achievements of his team.
Very excited. And at the same time, we look forward to a lot of better tournaments, even bigger and better tournaments. As we have seen, this has been quite a while. Madang has been missing out on a lot of great tournaments, so we look forward to host many more. It would be better if we have it quarterly in a calendar years, so we can have a lot of publicity, at the same time upgrading our facilities here.
Both the Ley Tigers and Durban Fox will now represent the Northern Region in the National Nines Championships to be held later in March. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV Sports.
And still in Rugby League, noted for having produced some of the best football players in the country, the districts of Wau and Makam in the Morobe Province are now making inroads in the sport of Rugby League. The Makam Ranks, Bulolo, Lay Spiders, as well as the Ramurams were part of 14 teams at the recent Super 9s in Madang over the weekend.
Having had a number of their own people represent Papua New Guinea in the sports of soccer and netball, the people from the rural areas of the province are now making inroads in the code of Rugby League. The districts of Bulolo, Wau and Makam all made appearances at the competition, impressing along the way. Peter Samuel brought his charges from Makam and is hoping to use them to boost the profile of the sport.
Yeah, Makams, we have the height, build and speed, and we think that rugby is the right game for us. We have played Rugby League in an official manner since 1990s in like a tournament type. Gradually we think that we should came out to Papua New Guinea.
Another visiting team from Morobe included Wau.
We tried our best knowing that Wau Rugby League Association is the best place of rugby league in Wau, so we feel that we must have a commitment to have our boys, even though we travel from distance. Our boys really played well. We are happy with that.
The Northern Region Development Manager is hoping for more involvement of teams from the rural areas of Papua New Guinea because he recognizes that talent is out there.
We have to move this rugby league forward so that every interest of this sport, the code rugby league itself, is getting bigger and better. So I suggest, and I'd like to see more of this in the smaller villages like Makam Ranks. That's one of my development programs that I've done last year, and I've encouraged them so they affiliate with Pins Rugby League this year. And I've seen the performance of these very, very skillful, very talented kids, really, very nice.
The next leg of the competition will be held in Kimbe, where even more developing players can be identified. Jeremy Mogi, National, MTV Sports.
The final leg of the Super 9's Rugby League competition will end in the New Guinea Islands region this weekend. Tournament coordinator David Silovo has confirmed 12 teams to take part in the tournament this weekend in Kimbe. The Super 9's Rugby League tournament is a pathway under the Team Kumo program, feeding players into the Digicel Cup and eventually SPPNG Hunters. True Kai Sports continues after the break with all the latest in the build-up to the Pacific Games. I'll be back.
True Kai Sports.
Welcome back to True Kai Sports. In preparation for the 2015 Port Moresby Pacific Games, the national men's Samoa volleyball team left the country today for Thailand. The team will spend 2 weeks playing against top Asian clubs preparing for the 2015 volleyball season. The players' performance in Thailand will serve as the selection for the final 12 to represent Papua New Guinea at the Pacific Games.
After taking out gold at the 2013 Mini Pacific Games in Wallis and Fortuna, the men's Samoa volleyball team are to defend their title at the coming Pacific Games. With the Games only months away, the team will have the opportunity to play against Olympic-level competition in Thailand.
The Federation of International Volleyball have a development centre there, and that's this region of the world, it's their development centre. So they offer a really good training environment, good courts, use their balls, but the most important thing is there's lots of really good teams there that will come and play us pretty much every day. My biggest aim for this trip is to get some of our guys professional contracts at some of the clubs we're playing. So already I've been in talks with some of the coaches over there, and they're very interested in a few of our boys.
The team features young talent who are backed by some of the more experienced players who believe international trips like this one will enhance their skills and give an insight to how volleyball is played on a higher level. The team has been preparing well and believe there will be strong competition to other Pacific Island countries for the Games.
The team has been prepared very well for the 2015 Pacific Games, and it's been a while since when we came back from Wallis, and this team is better than the Wallis team. And we have the senior experienced players and the new players coming up with the team, so this is the best team for the Games.
Yeah, me and Masturulo, me inside the team. Apart from all girls, boys play training, so put the effort when play training inside this la 7 months play training. Yeah. So me and Master when me go inside the top 16. So it's my first time go on play Asian country Thailand. So me and Masturu me come inside this la Samoa PNG team. So me and Master we can go face him this la trip go to Thailand.
The team will spend 2 weeks in Thailand and return to the country, where both the men's and women's Samoa team will travel to New Zealand for competition in the lead up to the Games. Dion Kombang, National MTV Sports.
Since the launching of the BSP One Talk Team volunteer program last month, the Pacific Games Organising Committee has been swamped with over 5,000 interested applicants. This will support the GOC's drive in encouraging the involvement of the wider population of Papua New Guinea and will assist in the delivery of the Games.
The Organising Committee will need 3,000 volunteers in total to assist with the rollout of the Games in July. The GOC has confirmed 5,500 applicants for the 2015 Pacific Games. The committee will have to go through a thorough 2-month-long selection process to finalize numbers according to their requirements. Earlier in the year, volunteer coordinator Joyce Moiwa stressed the importance of having a competent team of volunteers on board, as the Games this time around are expected to be bigger, spread over 10 different venues.
We are delivering the Games. We are hosting one of the biggest cultural events in the Pacific, and it has to be done our way, and we need to have that heart to do it with passion and do it with pride.
While the volunteers program has only been extended to residents of Port Moresby, the wider population of Papua New Guinea will also be able to engage in the Games through other programs extended to the rural outlets of the country. One of these events is the Oil Search Games Baton Relay, which begins 100 days out from the Games. Lorraine Genya, National EMTV Sports.
And that's how we end our sporting news tonight. I'll be back with the weather details after these short messages. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in southern region, Port Moresby to look forward to light showers and rain. In Momase, rain periods expected in Lae and Madang. In the New Guinea Islands, rain periods and thunderstorms expected in all centres. And in the Highlands region, all centres to look forward to rain and fog. Before we go, quickly recapping our top stories again tonight. Gabadi in Central Province trials hybrid rice project. Also, Watut communities in Morobe concerned about environmental damages, and more teams prepare for the 2015 Pacific Games. Well, that's been National EMTV News tonight. I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks heaps for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.